Stanford Steve is back. Headliner storyline. We used to do this with Russillo on radio. The gist is simple, and I'll explain it one last time. A headline is just the sort of clickbait. You see it. It doesn't really matter. The storyline, there's actually something to this, something there. So that's where we are with this.
Yeah. Headline. Bucks head coach Budenholzer says there's no place for Drake's courtside behavior. What do you make?
This is actually a storyline, I'll tell you why. Because Drake is a team ambassador. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know what that means officially. But my guess is that the NBA will say to Drake, and to the Raptors more specifically, get your man. Mm-hmm. Let's rein it in a little bit. And this is where it gets tricky because I don't know who governs rappers. Like, I don't know who's in charge of rappers because when rappers get mad, they just go and make diss tracks and get mad at everybody.
Well, shouldn't an ambassador have to go to HR for giving massages?
Whoa. Keep your hands to yourself.
Just saying. Just saying.
Next topic, Steve.
Rich Kleiman says his guy, Kevin Durant, is 100% undecided. What do you think?
This is the tricky one because that right there is the classic headline. But here's why this is a storyline. Because I've heard, you've heard, we've all heard for the last 3 months that he's going to New York. But when I hear that the Clippers are a real threat, I believe that. Mm-hmm. And I do think that Durant, who I think he thinks a lot and he gets in his feelings and that's okay. We're allowed to do that. I think he is undecided. I believe that is legitimate. I still figure he's going to land in New York.
Okay.
But I do think that it could, whatever he is today, it could be different tomorrow and could be different by July 1st.
So it's a storyline.
I say it's real.
Whoa.
I believe it's a storyline.
All right. Our guy, Chris Long, says use marijuana.
Wait.
What's your budget on this show?
All right.
Emphasis heading into Game 5 after the 2 losses in Toronto.
Well, Stan, they're just trying to turn over a new leaf and take care of home court. I asked Mike Budenholzer today whether or not he feels like Game 5 is any more important than the last 4 games that he's played. And he said, no, not particularly. I think that right now I need to take it one step at a time. They're not trying to get ahead of themselves. I was told that they were able to sort of move past the sad and silent locker room that they had yesterday. And they're just trying to put one foot in front of the other and get Game 5.
No one was more happy about the 2 wins in Toronto for the Raptors than their super fan Drake, who's going 0 to 100 on the sideline throughout the game, even giving Raptors coach Nick Nurse an impromptu back rub during the game. We'll get the Bucks perspective on that in just a minute from you. But first, here's our Raptors coach Nick Nurse on that.
It's really not a distraction to me. I didn't even know I got the shoulder rub last night until somebody showed me a picture today. I didn't even feel it. I was so locked into the game. It didn't distract me at all. I mean, I think the fans on whichever teams come out on the wrong side get disappointed about when they lose a couple games, and same with us. We lost a couple, and our fan base was upset. It's just kind of part of the show.
All right, so we've seen Christian Yelich and Aaron Rodgers at Bucks games. Cheering the home team on there. But what are the Bucks saying about the Raptors superfan?
Well, I asked Mike Budenholzer about that today, and he said, I would be lying if I told you that I didn't notice it all, but it's not something that really affects us. And so it really wasn't something that was a huge distraction for them, but it was hard not to notice. I mean, Drake was really getting into the game, and Bud did say that whether or not you are a fan or a celebrity, there really is no place for non-players and coaches to be within the lines of the court during the game. And so that was really the end of it. It's just kind of a whole lot of fun right now.
Yeah, I'm sure the Bucks players appreciate Drake as an artist just as much as the Raptors do, but probably not the fan stuff. All right, thanks, Malika. We'll talk again after Game 5. Michigan hopes that it's made a fabulous hire for its basketball program. Juwan Howard heading back to Ann Arbor. It's Howard's first head coaching job outside of the NBA Summer League. He had been an assistant with the Heat. He replaces John Beilein, who left to coach the Cavaliers. And here's a reaction from Dwayne Wade, his homeboy from Chicago. He said, talk to me nice. Say it is so. My guy deserves this opportunity. This will only be right. Then in response to Wade's tweet, LeBron James chimed in. He spent time, of course, with Howard in Miami. Man, what? Absolutely the right choice, and I hope it becomes a done deal ASAP. One of my favorite people I've ever met at the age of 16 and been around since then. All right, so, look, if you don't know about the Fab Five, you need to know about them. Yeah. So we've got the Fab Five, top five, just in case you're not familiar. Michigan and Michigan State, February 2nd, 1993. Ray Jackson gets his own miss, finishes with a no-look putback. They called him the Fab Five because they were all freshmen, and they all started together. Wolverines won that game 73-69.
Yeah, 92 NCAA first round, Temple and Michigan. Chris Webber, no look to Jalen Rose. Yeah, Jalen was a baller, big time. Michigan won that one.
1992 Final Four, Michigan and Cincinnati. Jalen with the rebound to Chris Webber to Jimmy King. And that will help Michigan get to the national championship. They win at 76-72. I mean, they brought a swag to college basketball.
Yeah, the national championship game that Duke beat Michigan. Webber behind the back to Rob Pelinka. Yes, Rob Pelinka. Hello.
1992 NCAA second round, Michigan and Eastern Tennessee State. Juwan Howard up top for Webber. You know, the baggy shorts and that whole look. Fab Five put that on the map. They won that game 102-90. And Howard's going to try to bring that tradition back to Michigan. Beeline did a great job, and Howard trying to continue it. After his time at Michigan, Howard went on to score more than 16,000 points with 8 different NBA teams. Now one of 4 active Division I coaches with at least 15,000 career points in the NBA, including one of 2 coaching his alma mater, along with Patrick Ewing.
Bring in George Sedano. All right, you know Howard well from your days covering the Heat in Miami. Are you feeling him as a college coach?
I'm feeling him. I think he deserved the shot. Certainly, look, he got interviewed by NBA teams, so that shows what people around the league felt about him. He gets to go to his alma mater, and one of the things he was great at, Neil, was connecting with players. If you look at it, whether it's LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, he was that guy that kind of played a role where he could connect with guys, he could kind of pat him on the back, or he could be tough with those guys and challenge them. And again, you have to have a certain resume to be able to do that. I think that in the college ranks, that's exactly what you need.
All right, I'm listening to you on the radio, and you're talking about a podcast where the GMs of the Lakers and Pelicans are talking. So are ESPN 710, by the way.
Yeah.
Are you feeling maybe AD to the Lakers?
Well, I'm feeling them at least discussing that, right? So my understanding is that Rob Pelinka and David Griffin at the Combine were having a chat, right? And that chat was probably about Anthony Davis and his availability.
And it was one of these?
It was...
Covering of the, you know, they do that in the NBA. You know, that happens a lot. And you know, when they do this, that means they're discussing real serious business, Neil.
Yeah.
So that was happening. And David Griffin was covering his mouth. And I don't blame him. You don't want any scuttlebutt. You don't want me talking about it on SportsCenter. But it seems fairly obvious that that's what the discussion point was. But look, David Griffin, to his credit, he feels confident, Neil, that he could keep Anthony Davis. He's coming to Los Angeles, where Anthony Davis is right now, and he's going to meet with him, and he's going to try to sell him on his vision for this program.
All right, the best thing I heard today was you on the radio talking more than once, but you're talking about the Clippers owner, Steve Ballmer, recruiting Kevin Durant in the past. You feel like telling that story?
Yeah, I feel like telling that story.
Oh!
So, look at that. There's piles of cash everywhere. All right, so back in 2016 when Kevin Durant was in the Hamptons, the urban legend, okay? This is urban legend. This is not a confirmed story. It was told to me by someone, and I just want to believe it.
It's worth repeating. It's worth repeating.
So the story, the urban legend goes like this, that Steve Ballmer, who is worth, I believe, $36 billion, he's the richest owner in sports, wanted to show up to this meeting with the amount of cash that Kevin Durant's full max contract would be. Now, let's just say, for argument's sake, it's $175 million, $180 million, whatever it was. He wanted to show up with the cash.
Show me the money.
To show KD what that would look like physically, because you know what? Ballmer can flex that way because he's the richest owner in sports. And then allegedly he was talked out of it because that would probably be against the rules. Again, urban legend, but please God, I hope it is true.
It is a great story. Do you have a feeling what Durant's going to do?
Yeah, I don't think anyone does. I will say this. Rich Kleiman, his guy from Rock Nation, and look, he's doing his job. I get it. But when he says that KD is 100% undecided, human nature would tell us that at this point, he would at least have it narrowed down to a couple of different options, whether that's staying with the Warriors or whatever options may be out there for him. So I don't want KD getting in my mentions on Twitter, Neil. He's been doing that lately. I don't want any beef with KD. I respect KD. And I do think it's just, again, human nature. He's got to be thinking about it. There's no doubt.
All right, with the nod to Vic the Brick, George Sedano, we're feeling him.
Feeling you, Vic.
All right, most